And whose team is this? Is this your team, or is this your daddy's team?
Thanks for listening to the Dad Mode Podcast, common sense parenting in a politically correct world. Here's your host, Andy Carlson.
Welcome back to the Dad Mode Podcast, common sense parenting in a politically correct world. I'm your host, Andy Carlson, at Andy Carlson Show on the Twitter machine. I'm a father. I have no idea what I'm doing, but either they're chiefy, so let's try and learn something together today. Website is dadmodepod.com. If you want to tweet us at dadmodepod or just use the hashtag dadmode. Today, so we're diving in, and we had our first parent-teacher conference because little Margaret, she is 3, almost 4, so like 3 3/4. I don't know if kids do that anymore, where they're like, hey, you're 6, but you're almost 7, so it's like, I'm 6.5. Do kids do that anymore? I don't know. Margaret hasn't done it yet, but she is in pre-K, preschool, and we had our first parent-teacher conference. Dun, 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 dun. Well, actually the second, but this is the first one that I was able to go to. So, you know, it was a little nerve-wracking, not gonna lie, even though it's preschool. How harsh can teachers essentially be? This isn't a ne'er-do-well high school kid who isn't applying themselves. Trust me, I know. So this wasn't going to be the Spanish Inquisition. This wasn't going to be a grilling. This wasn't going to be anything like that. But still, it's like you're going in, and even though Margaret's teachers are awesome. This is, and they're going to be nice about a lot of things, even things that she has to work on. Like, I do expect some criticism, and as a parent, like I want some. Like I'm under no illusion that my kid is perfect, even though I kind of think so. But I mean, just looking out of what she does in the world, like I'm not always going to think that she's doing no wrong and she can do no wrong, and just that really weird helicopter parent thing where, you've seen that meme where it was the 80s, 90s, and it's the parents are like, what's the deal with these bad grades? And they're showing the bad report card to the kid, and then the next frame is now today, where it's like, what's the deal with these bad grades? And it's the parent showing the report card to the teacher. It's one of those spots where, if there is valid criticism of Margaret not stepping up, whether it be in school, whether it be in work, whether it be in life, whether it be whatever, it's like, I want to be as objective about it as possible, even though it's very hard because, I mean, she's my kid and I love her, and it's tough to be subjective, or it's very easy to be subjective, rather. But going in, and it's one of those spots where the kid sits in. It's not like when the kid is older where it's separated. It's like, we need to talk about Kevin. One of those spots. But Margaret just sitting in there, and teacher is really awesome and sweet. And there's a group of like 4 or 5 teachers that watch over. Let's see, how many kids are in this class? Like 20, I want to say. And at first you seem like that's a little excessive, but then you remember they're 3 and 4 year olds, right? So you do need that many shepherds for a flock of that many, I guess. But I was really, we know that Margaret is smart. But I just don't know where she's stacked up against other kids. And I know at this stage of the game, kids learn at different levels, especially when you're outside a formalized school. Some of these kids, Margaret too, where this is their first year of a structured education. But the fact that the teacher said that she's already past where ideally they would like kids coming into kindergarten. Margaret knows all of her letters, uppercase, lowercase, can count to 20 or something like that, and that's kids that are going into preschool. They ideally would like kids to know half that stuff. So the fact she's already doubled up on it, and she has a full another year of pre-K to go, I mean, feels good. We weren't worried because Margaret seems to really lean into learning, and she loves to do it. And we get her these activity books where she gets to trace and draw letters and animals and all that stuff. We work on her with counting and everything like that. And all the TV that she does watch is geared towards more educational items. So it wasn't that shocking, but also it was a relief to know that, hey, she's not only is she on schedule, she's ahead of schedule in a lot of factors. And it's like, you don't want it to be like, oh, well, she's falling behind her peers, or her peers are way ahead of her. But it's good that, you know, she is where she needs to be, right? And like, even though we knew, like, it is really, you know, like I said. Also, so the drawing is coming along. She did they do a thing where they do they draw a self-portrait every month, and then you flip through the progress, and I don't know what to make of it. Like, I'm not smart enough to psychoanalyze what was going down, but one of the months, Margaret just drew, so she was coming along, drawing a stick figure, and it was looking pretty good, right, for a 3-year-old. And one of the months, she just skipped. Just like right in the middle, she just drew a line, wasn't having it that day, and she skipped it. But we found out that she drew on the back, like, probably her best portrait of herself, where stick figure, you could clearly see the head and all the limbs, and she was wearing a dress and had a pretty bow on her head. So I don't know what to make of this whole punk rock rage against the establishment and the machine sort of tactic that she took that day. That I don't. Hey, man! I'm not going to play your game, but I'll do it anyways. But just out of sight, out of mind. So I freaking love it. Also, I love. Most parents worry about their kids every minute of the day. You're more at ease and more focused when you know your kids, parents, pets, and loved ones and home are well taken care of. And peace of mind is priceless, but it's less expensive than you think. Care.com is the world's largest digital marketplace for finding and managing family care. That's right. Sitters, nannies, housekeepers, dog wash, senior care, tutors, errands, and more. Full-time, part-time, anytime. Care.com. Here's the great thing about it, where they provide a variety of background check options so you can purchase and find a person to watch over your loved ones and just have that peace of mind that that person is good to go. Join now for a free basic membership and start searching for great local caregivers. Once you upgrade to a premium membership, you can reach out to them, schedule interviews, and even book and pay for care online or through the app. Do that up. I have a premium membership, and it's been so great when we've needed to find some short-term care for our young daughter, and it's just wonderful. Just that peace of mind that you know that you're finding someone that you can trust on care.com. Also, if you want to save 30% off a care.com premium membership, visit care.com/dad mode when you subscribe. Care.com/dad mode. And there are things that the teacher brought up that she had to work on, because we knew in fall, there's a couple of days where I talked to the teacher after class, where Margaret had been acting out, and we found out that she really gets hyper-focused and really dialed into things that interest her. So whether it be playing with a specific toy, whether it be a movie, like she'll watch the same movie 26 times in a row. Like, once she gets into things, she really gets into things. So, like, a year ago, we watched Mulan 2. Like, not even the good Mulan, like the straight-to-DVD Mulan 40 times. Like, back-to-back. How about Mulan 2? Yeah. So, when Margaret really gets into, whether it be tracing, drawing, toys, specific toy, genre of TV, like My Little Ponies, unicorns, whatever. Once she gets into something, she gets really into it, and she does not like being, she doesn't like change. She doesn't like being ripped from whatever she is focusing on. So, of course, when she was getting used to school, they go from one thing to another thing, one activity to another thing, and once Margaret found something that she really enjoyed, she was not having the change. Like, she was not into it, and she would throw a little tantrum, she would cry, she would do all that stuff, but that seems to be worked out. So I think it did just take a little bit of while to understand the structure of, like, oh, hey, well, we're going to do this for X amount of time, and then we're going to move on to something else, and then something else, and then something else, and then you just sort of have to roll with the punches, which is important for kids to learn. But also, I don't know, she almost has the opposite of ADD and the whole ADD phenomenon, which we'll talk about, where I think sometimes parents and medical professionals just blanket diagnose a kid being a kid as being ADD and just to medicate them, but that's a whole nother episode. But I mean, Margaret, she gets almost too focused. She almost has target fixation whenever she gets onto things, and I see the positives in that, but also you could definitely see the negatives too. So I don't know. Oh, we'll just keep an eye on that. And then, of course, we wrapped up just talking about, just as a parent, you are always mortified, petrified that if your kid goes to like a daycare or a school, like if they don't make friends, that's always the big worry, right? Because we know, whether it was us or whether we've seen other kids where if you don't have friends, a group of close friends among your peers, like it could be really tough. Like it could be extremely tough. Or hell, even as an adult now, if you go over your job and you're not really friendly with anyone at work, it's like that's tough too. Just having that social network, that social fabric, it's really important. But luckily, Margaret makes friends with everyone, and again, that one less thing to worry about, I guess. But I mean, she's very loquacious. She's very outgoing. We've really harped on her that, hey, if there's a kid that's sort of off to the side and sitting out and not really participating, and just go over and say hi and play with them and try and include everyone. And the teacher said that Margaret is very good at making friends and reaching out to people. So that's just another thing. It's great. And also she mentioned that she's going to be the next president. Margaret is, where hell yeah. And also like, oh man, during the campaign, they're going to rip her dad apart like that. I'm going to be her Billy Clinton. Wait, was it? No, Roger Clinton. Was that it? Where whenever someone's running for president, they always rip on the stupid relative. So yeah, I'm going to be that for Margaret during her campaign. It's going down, but I think overall it was you going with a little bit of anxiety, and you worry that maybe your kid isn't up to snuff. But once you find out that, hey, not only are they satisfactory, that they're freaking good to go, man, I love it. It's good. Hopefully we can continue on this trend all the way through Yale, which I'm not going to pay $500,000 to get her to Yale. She'll get in on her own merits. Do that up. But let us know what you think. Hit us up in the comments section, as well as give us a rate and review on the iTunes as well. Tell a friend amongst your dad groups, and also give a follow on Twitter at DadMoPod. Me, personal account at Andy Carlson Show. The website is dadmopod.com. But until next time, be a man, be a father, go dad mode, and we'll smell you later.
Think the episode you just heard is worth $1? Well, send it our way. Visit dadmodepod.com/support to find out how. Be a man, be a father. Go dad mode. The music is created and produced by Deeb. To hear more of his tracks, visit soundcloud.com/Deeb.